Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to your September 2015 love reading. It's Rena here, and I'm very happy to be doing these love readings for the first time. It's been a lot of fun, and now I've gotten to the sign of Aquarius. So I've picked 5 cards that represent different things, and I'm going to talk about them. Remember that this is a general reading. So so if you want a private reading that also takes into account your personal birth data, please click on the link below. I have a $19 special happening right now for a 20-minute reading. And I also want to say that these types of readings are most appropriate for people who are either in a long term relationship that is not working out or are single and looking. So, anyway, the first card that I picked relates to your current energy, and it was the Four of Swords. And this is a very interesting card for a current situation card because the Four of Swords is related to somebody who's recuperating and is also in reflection. It's a very inner work type of card. And Aquarius is a very outward going sign, not only being a masculine, yang type of sign, but an air sign. Air signs love to circulate with other people and exchange ideas. And so this shows someone who is doing the exact opposite of that. Now, it could very well be that some of you are having to recuperate from a really intense relationship that totally crashed and burned. It might be that some of you are dealing with some other matter that is keeping you out of the dating scene. If you are in a marriage and you're getting this card, it could be that you are not being with your friends and you are kind of keeping to yourself at the moment. I would say just off the bat that this is not a bad idea. This is never a bad idea, actually, as long as you're not isolating yourself because you feel hopeless, of course. But in general, it's always good, especially for a social person, to have time of reflection because when we are with other people, we're being outside of ourselves. So it's very hard for us to see exactly, how we are interacting and what we're contributing to situations. It's only when you keep apart. I think there's something in the Bible that talks about keeping apart, and I think it has to do with a time for meditation, a time for reflection. And the other thing related to this is that because this is a general reading, this message may be only for a certain number of you. And if that's the case, that's perfectly fine because I want people to know that it's good to take this time for yourself. Don't think there's anything wrong with you if you don't feel like socializing. So, the universe wants you to know, and this card was the Ace of Pentacles. And if we were talking about a job situation or just your general finances, this would be a welcome card that suggests you may be receiving some sort of financial gift that's almost like from the universe. In the Morgan Greer deck that I have, that is seems to be fairly faithful to the Rider Waite deck, they show this hand offering this gold coin, the pentacle, with clouds surrounding it, and that indicates the universe. So it's almost like this gift from the universe that you suddenly get. But we're not talking about finances, we're talking about love. So this could simply mean that the universe wants you to know that you can trust. And again, if you're someone who has been deeply betrayed and that's why you are keeping to yourself right now, understand that you can definitely put your faith in other people. What it might mean is that you have to put your faith in the right person and people. And when it comes to love relationships, Aquarians have very special needs. And these involve a lot of freedom, as well as intellectual stimulation, as well as novelty. You want surprises. You don't want the same old, same old. Even though you're a fixed sign and you like stability, you're also co ruled by Uranus. And so you crave the unexpected. And if things get too dull, then you're out of there. And this is why you might really feel that you need your freedom, because you find it hard to attract a partner that can, fill those very specific shoes of what you require. And I think that part of the issue for Aquarius is that you have to really learn how to. I think for some of you, it might be a case of a disconnect when it comes to dealing with other people's emotions and even identifying your own emotions, over intellectualizing them as air signs are wont to do. And this lessens the ability to gauge whether or not a relationship is appropriate for you, especially since Aquarius is a very tolerant sign, a very progressive, liberal type of person, and doesn't discriminate. But in relationships, it sometimes is necessary to be very careful about who you get close to, because when it's incompatible, then it can become a very negative situation. So I think that it's just a matter of trusting that there are people out there that you will fit very well with, and just trusting people in general and getting closer to people and not being as detached as is your default position, or tendency, I should say. The advice that you are given is the Three of Wands. Wands are fire signs, and I can't remember if the Three of Wands is associated with Leo or Aries. I don't think it's Sagittarius, but I could be wrong about that because three is the number of Jupiter. So, in any case, let's say it's any fire sign. The point is that you're being asked to be courageous and maybe go where no man has gone before. I don't know. Is that Star Trek? But whatever this means to you, particularly with your love life, I'm not 100% sure, because there are probably a thousand different interpretations for that. But in general, I would say that you might want to take a different approach. I did say that you were a fixed sign, so you tend to do the same things the same way over and over again. And you don't want to expect different results, because that is insanity, as we know. But I think that there might be an angle with this card that perhaps you need to become more like a fire sign. Maybe you need to show your enthusiasm. Aquarians can be a little cool and even remote, aloof. And this can be off putting to other people, because they may think that you don't like them. And you may be madly in love with them, and they wouldn't have the first clue. And meanwhile, they're like a million miles away. So you might have to emote a little bit more and stop being so much in your head, because fire signs are all about passion. The wands are about enthusiasm. So be a little bit less like the swords and be a little bit more like the wands if you really are looking for a relationship. And the action to take is the moon card. I really connect that moon card with the four swords that I picked first. It really is a more inward looking card. The moon is also associated with deception and illusion, and I think that in this context it's suggesting that you not operate under any illusions when you deal with other people. And being an air sign, you are not moved by emotion. As a matter of fact, you might be turned off by someone's emotion or someone even trying to generate emotion within you. But there is still the possibility of self deception, even on the mental level. And this occurs when people think that their minds are the ultimate and they worship the mind. A lot of times, people who are atheists look at religion as being childish and anti intellectual. And I can totally understand where they're coming from. But by the same token, they don't realize that there's a difference between organized religion and spirituality. And there's also some of us out there who do believe that the mind has its place, that ideas and the intellect have their place. But we also believe that we sense things and it's beyond the quote unquote rational mind. That sometimes there's no way to quote unquote prove something, but we still believe it with all our hearts. Not because, we have to believe it or otherwise we'll lose our minds, but because we really know in that ultimate sense, which is the intuition, not the gray matter, that we are spirit soul, that we're not just a bag of bones. And so there is a way to retain your intelligence, your intellect, and still open your heart chakra. And this card is kind of like a bridge between that because I really believe that Aquarians tend to be incredibly intelligent people. It's the sign of the scientist. But it's really just a matter of not being too narrow and just assuming that you can cling to your intellect to get you through every situation in life. Albert Einstein has amazing quotes about science and spirituality. Maybe I'll post one at the end to illustrate my point. The outcome card is the Six of Cups, and this card represents the innocence of childhood. Nostalgia, because it's a cups card, it relates to the water signs, to the emotional life. And I really believe that you will get back to that childlike wonder and innocence when it comes to your emotional nature. Like the Three of Wands, you have a confident attitude and also a more demonstrative nature, a more feeling nature, a more passionate nature, that you will attract someone that is appropriate for you as a love interest. I don't see anything in these cards that suggests that many of you are going through turmoil per se. Some of the other readings have suggested more rocky times at the moment. So it's just a matter of maybe some of you wanting a more compatible relationship. And I think that is totally within your reach, Aquarius. And as I say, if you would like a more personal reading, just click on the link below and it'll take you to my website page. So until next month, Aquarius, I wish you all the best. Bye.